Day 13, medieval. And for this one, I did a stained glass window. And I think it turned out really well. There are a couple things. If you look at some of the areas, some of the lines are a little bit thicker than the other ones. That's just Voronoi being weird, you know, at certain positions. There's not really much you can do about that. And as someone who has done some stained glass, I don't want to brag, but I've done some stained glass. This is like not a thing. This corner here is not a thing that you would do. I mean, it's a procedurally generated thing, so it's going to have some weirdnesses. What I should have done, in retrospect, is just continue this shape all the way out to the edge. So we could look through this, but I think you guys probably get the idea. You scale it down super hard on one axis, and then I used a distance to edge Voronoi, ramped it super hard to create the lead portion, and then let's see. Oh, this is where I create the star. One other thing, I used a glare node in the compositor. I kind of messed up. I should have put a little bit more texture in the glass, because oftentimes that is part of the character of a stained glass piece is the different textures of the glass. And it would have been fun to kind of develop that a little bit more. Moving on to, unfortunately, Art Deco. And this one sucks. So, you know, there's not really that much to say other than I was just messing around with like math nodes and really just seeing what happened. This is probably not even a good representation. It's probably not like a good response to this prompt even. But you know the deal. Cyberpunk. I didn't really have a great idea for this, so I just kind of did my normal thing and tried stuff out. And what I found was, oh boy, look at my depth of field. Oh no, I've messed up my camera angle. It's fine. I don't have to save. What I found was, with this node group, I could generate this type of pattern that gave me some choices whenever I use a color ramp of what terrain I wanted to elevate. And if I just crank the scale up a little bit, it gives me a lot finer detail on the areas that I want to isolate. And so I was able to use that to just mask out some areas to do like emissions. And if we go and turn our displacement back on, displacement is on. I just don't have any geometry. Then you can see it gives us this sort of a cityscape. And one of the buildings in the render is one of these buildings that goes over the corner, and it gives us kind of an interesting shape. And I just cut the animation before you could see too much of the building. forest. This one is supposed to be an autumn forest floor. What I did was go back to the wheat field planet and just modified that tree. Brought the scale down to isolate some larger areas, and I kind of moved further forward with the idea of pulling that geometry out of the center, and just experimented around with some numbers, and this is what popped out. I thought that maybe I should do something else for forest, so I pulled this one out of the vault. This is a node group I call Barkify. It turns whatever mesh into a tree. Into tree bark, I guess. It takes a biased and an unbiased object vector, so you can bias it in whatever direction you want. I have an entire HSV node here for you to use, displacement control. There's a red and green factor, and a whatever you choose here, and blue factor. And this is all just nodes in here. Oh my god. Regina. You're such an asshole.